Okay.
Are we live?
Yep.
We are?
Yep.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the University of Cincinnati. My name is Nick Paddock. I'm from the International Admissions Office, and we're here today to talk to you about working while in school, while at the University of Cincinnati. So we have two students here. One is a graduate student, one is an undergraduate, and then one of our amazing staff members that works at UC International on the services side. So I've worked here for about 3.5 years and truly enjoy it, and I love working with our students and our staff. So I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into sharing information about the university and how to work while you're in school. Okay, so I'll start with you.
I'm Janet. I'm from Hong Kong, and I'm a first-year graduate student doing professional writing, and I have a part-time work at UC International as a graduate assistant. So I work and study.
Hello everyone, my name is Angel. Come from Shenzhen, mainland China. I am a graduating senior at University of Cincinnati and study business in accounting and business analytics. I've done 3 full-time co-ops within the almost 3 years at UC, and then I'm graduating with I will be working full-time for Deloitte after graduation.
And my name's Ron Cushing. I'm Director of International Services, and it's our office that takes care of legally authorizing all of your employment, whether it's on campus, through curricular practical training for co-ops like Angel has, or recommending after graduation for optional practical training. So all of your employment needs and authorizations will run through our office.
Thank you very much. All right, so when you are admitted to UC and you decide to come here, let's say you move here in the fall to begin your first year on campus, you might be interested in working on campus right out the gate, the first year in one of our offices, and then also pursuing possibly an internship or a co-op opportunity depending on the program you're admitted to. So as far as yourself, do you want to talk more about your experience working part-time on campus and that process?
Okay. So I work 20 hours every week at the UC International office, and so the process of it is a friend recommended this job to me, but at the same time I asked my program director, is it okay that I'll have this scholarship with this funding from school and for my job? So when they're okay with it, I approached the UC International office for the program director as well, to ask if it's okay that I would work there. So I went through a virtual interview, and after the screening process, they said, okay, then the school just work on my funding for me. So it's kind of easy, the whole process. And as usual, it's the same visa application process as without funding. You just have to fill in all this funding from stating who is funding my education, and am I having enough fund to support my living here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So is it a paid internship?
Yeah, so I get stipends bi-weekly, and the school covers my tuition.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And Ron, can you elaborate on that application process?
Sure.
You're on campus?
First, let me make sure that you understand the legal parameters of working period. So as Dan said, she works on campus, and once you get here, you are permitted to work on this campus only. So do not plan on working outside the university unless it is a curricular requirement like Angel's had here for her co-ops and other internships. But you are allowed to work on campus a maximum of 20 hours per week. Now, during scheduled breaks, like the summer is considered a scheduled break, or any time where the university is shut down for at least 1 week in duration, like spring break, where we get off 30 days from the end of fall semester to the beginning of spring semester. During those times, you're allowed to work more than 20 hours a week. But while you are enrolled and the semester is ongoing, you're limited to on-campus work 20 hours a week only. Now, on campus can take lots of different forms. So as Janet said, she has what's called a graduate assistantship. She's a graduate student, and she happens to be working in my office for her assistantship, but many graduate programs offer teaching and research assistantships that require 20 hours a week of commitment. There's also other on-campus jobs. You can work for the International Admissions Office as a student worker. We have restaurants on campus, Starbucks and Subway sandwiches and, all of those kinds of things. You are allowed to work on campus in any capacity, provided that the job is providing a service to other students 20 hours a week. And once you get that job, then we have to legally authorize your employment, and that's part of what our office is responsible for.
So how frequently can a student work on campus? Can it be every semester, up to 20 hours?
It can be every semester up to 20 hours while school is in session, yes.
Okay, and can you share what the average hourly rate might be for a student? Is it the same across the board? Or is
it is not the same across the board. Different offices pay, different amounts based on, the technical skills and other things that are going to be necessary to do the job. You're likely going to earn a little bit more working for departments like, IT, where you have to have very specialized skills, than you would serving pizza or a sandwich at one of the restaurants. Those are going to tend to be the more lower paid positions, but the salary you'll earn will vary based on the job that you get.
Yeah, so it's a great way to earn a little income while you're on campus, but also gain professional experience working as well, right? And then for your co-op, do you want to talk about your experience coming to UC, working, and what your major is, and then the opportunities you pursued for your cooperative education?
Sure. So I came to UC in 2017 fall because I was originally from a partner university of UC. So I came all the way from Beijing to here and then finishing my undergraduate degree. I studied specifically in accounting and business analytics. I will say UC definitely provide a really good platform for students to gain experience. So before I came here, I didn't know that experience is such an important thing in the United States because, in China, like GPA is everything. So when I came here, pretty much on the first day of my school, I started to feel that atmosphere of the business school. Like every part of the school is like networking and everything. And business school provide a really good career service. Actually, all the other colleges all have their own career service too. But from my point of view, my career coach, they're doing such an amazing job. I became friends with a lot of them. They've been helping me in a lot of things. Like they pretty much taught me from knowing nothing about the United States, like a career, and then to, I would say, right now I am helping a lot of international students, so I am able to tell other people what they should do right now. So my first international students are allowed to work after one academic year after you came to United States. So my first co-op was in the 2018 summer. But my two most important co-op were all from last year. So in 2019, spring and summer, I did two consecutively, all in downtown Cincinnati. They are all, because I am majoring in accounting and business analytics, so they're all public accounting firms. So the first one is BDO in downtown Cincinnati. The second one, so last summer, was a firm called Deloitte. So I will say this opportunity all come from like a very long accumulation of everything, like getting involved on campus, working several on-campus jobs, and then go to networking events, just be involved, and then still keep your grades, and then that's my opinion.
So when you're in a co-op, are you also taking classes?
On my co-ops, so the three co-ops I mentioned are all full-time co-ops. So when you are doing full-time co-op, you're not allowed to take classes. But if you're doing part-time co-ops, you actually are allowed to take classes. So last spring and summer, I did not take any classes because I was in full-time co-ops, and then the co-ops are like especially one of them are in busy season, so we don't even have time to do any classes. Yes.
So-
Except, I'm sorry, let me jump in there, Nick. So except your co-op class. So during your co-op full-time terms, there is a co-op class that you have to be enrolled for in order to engage in the co-op.
So the co-op will last one full semester. You do not pay tuition while you're in co-op, right? And you do make money. You make an income, correct?
Yes.
Has that been helpful for you to earn an income for that amount of time? So you worked 3 semesters, right? Do you want to share how that supported your lifestyle?
Sure.
How that supported possibly paying off some of your tuition?
So first, I remember last time we talked about the cost of living in Cincinnati or UC. So first, UC is doing a really great job because they gave a lot of international students a lot of scholarship. So because of partnership with my previous university, we have a really high scholarship. So we only need to pay like a portion of the tuition. But because of the co-ops and internships, I covered all of them, and I still have some money left. So I will say because of my internship, I did not need any support from my parents starting from 2 years ago, and that was amazing. And then you can see the income you earn when you file taxes, and you feel really happy about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. So the average salary for someone who's on a co-op is about $10,000. Typically, it may vary depending on the company that you work for. Can you elaborate further on maybe the process of a student? So you began a co-op, the paperwork that you have to do, right, through your office, I think, correct, on how to actually begin that co-op legally.
Sure. So for internships and co-ops before graduation, the process is a lot easier than after graduation. So before graduation, there's something called CPT. It's called
Practical
training. Yeah,
You got
I
it.
remember.
Good.
Yeah. So this you need to file this through the UC International office, but you will need to have a job offer. So it's the process is actually very simple. You simply just log into IBRCAS Global and file a form, and then ask your either career coach or academic advisor to approve it, and then wait for like 3 to 5 days for UC International office to approve it. Once it's get approved, you can start working. So the process for internships at co-ops are very simple.
They are simple, but they are important to follow, because when you're in the co-op program, you're going to be dealing with 2 people to get your authorization. First, you're going to be dealing with our experiential learning department. Angel was talking about her career coach. That's what they call a lot of them. They're going to help you prepare for and find that job. Once they help you find the job, you have to get the legal authorization to engage in that job from our office. And sometimes that's where there's a disconnect with students. If you're in a co-op program and you're going to be taking advantage of that while you're here, the most important thing I can tell you is make sure you never start working until you have received authorization on your I-20 form from our office to engage in that employment. If you do, then you're working without proper legal authorization, and that will complicate your legal status. So always get the authorization from our office to engage in any co-op before you begin working.
Great point. So as far as working, we talked about being able to work every semester as an intern up to 20 hours, right? For co-op, though, it's a bit different for college, for program. So in the Lindner College of Business, co-op is optional. So a student can do 1, they could do 2, 3. It's really up to the student to decide if they want to engage in a co-op and take that opportunity. For the College of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning, most of the programs have a 5 co-op rotation. So the students will be required to complete 5 semesters of co-op. There are a couple programs that have less of a requirement. And then the College of Engineering and Applied Science, they have a required 5 co-op rotation. Excuse me. So that is good to know. For the rest of our programs that you see in the other colleges, They do not offer the co-op component as part of the curriculum, right? This one.
But it's a very important distinction to be aware of, though, those colleges where it's optional versus those where it is required. So as Angel's described to you here, she did several co-ops while she was in her program, and now she's applying for her post-graduation, what's called optional practical training. When you're in a co-op program, and you're in one of the programs that require 5 co-ops, if you exceed 1 year of full-time curricular practical training, you lose your optional practical training. And so the biggest struggle for anybody, if you're coming in for engineering, DAAP in particular, is you want to try to preserve that optional practical training for after you graduate. So the question becomes, how do you do that? If you do 4 or 5 in-country co-ops, you're going to lose the optional practical training option after you graduate. And so what many students should start thinking about now before you even come here is, if you do 3 co-ops in the country, in the US, you are below that 1-year threshold, and you would be able to keep your optional practical training after you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you save that practical training is, for 2 of your co-ops, you try to line up a co-op back home in your home country or even in some other country.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 times you would co-op outside the US, and 3 times you would co-op in the US. As long as you keep that schedule, you get to do all your co-ops, plus you get the optional practical training after you graduate.
Mm-hmm. And finding those job opportunities that you see is relatively easy, right? We've done a lot of research for the students, and actually aligned a lot of the jobs for the students that can be found on a database, right? So can you share about the process of actually finding a job here on campus or finding a co-op? It seems like it could be really hard and difficult to find those jobs, but I think we do a really good job at finding them for the students. Could you share about the process of finding a job online and then applying?
So I didn't find my job online. It's kind of through a friend referral. So it's like even easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you have to know the right person. But it's also like by chance that I think is, well, if you ask your program director, they usually will provide help, because in my previous master program here, also at UC, our program director knows like everything in town. So even if we're not looking for jobs on campus, even if it's off campus, they always know where you should go to. And there's like a huge alumni network that will help you to land a job.
So I would say for international student, it's definitely a little bit more difficult than domestic student. I would say my first co-op was definitely not easy to find, but after that, everything just becomes so much easier because we had experience. So my first co-op, I was trying really hard to get to know my career coach, meeting them very frequently, and then getting whatever advice they gave me, and then get involved. And also, I think in 2018, we are still using another platform, but right now we're using something called Handshake. Handshake was a really helpful tool because it provides you with a lot of opportunity off campus and on campus. But there are also a lot of other resources, like my career coach, they send out weekly emails to inform you what great like opportunities are there, and then you should apply to, or what great networking session or info session out there. So those are all great opportunities that UC provide, and then we will also have a lot of alumni coming back to UC giving you some information, or just like a lot of business fraternity. They will have a lot of networking session. So all of those things, and today we have career fair on campus. So all of those resources provided by UC are extremely helpful. That's how they helped me get my first co-op. And once you have experience, everything just becomes so much simpler. So yeah.
So do you want to share more about the career fair?
Yes.
Because it's pretty unique, right?
Yes. So For business school, there's a mandatory class for us. It's called career strategy, and I know for other colleges there's some other professional development class start with PB something. So all those classes that teach you how to write your resume, how to networking, how to go to info session, how to interview, and also a very important element of the class is teach you how to talk to employers at the career fair. So at UC, we have 2 days of career fair. Today, the first day is the professional day. It's more towards business student or non-technical student. And then tomorrow is a career fair about engineering and more technical like majors. So all those 2 career fairs are extremely helpful because there will be hundreds of employers on campus. You got the opportunity to directly talk to them face to face to make an impression and make connections. I will say I did not. One of my very first interviews I get for my co-ops is from the career fair. So a lot of people think it's not helpful, but definitely is one of the very helpful resource on campus, and it helps you to get prepared for your future interview and then just help you become more comfortable talking to professionals.
And that's a key point. So a lot of mistakes that some of the international students make is they wait until it's time for them to start actually looking for the co-op to do things like go to the career fair and start talking with employers. The earlier you start networking, the earlier you start to understand how to communicate with the employers, what they're going to ask you, how you should be responding, the more practice you have with those kinds of things, as Angel said, the easier it gets. And the first one is typically the hardest one because you're learning those things along the way. So, if you start next fall, go ahead and go to the career fair next fall, even though you're not going to co-op for another year, because you want to start getting familiar with talking with employers, how to present yourself, so that when it comes time to really have to find that co-op, you're more comfortable and at ease doing it.
Mm-hmm. Great point. Did you all want to add anything else that we may have missed, or?
I would just say one more thing. Highly encourage all the international students to get whatever experience the UC offer. No matter what, like my first ever experience started was a teaching assistant and then started as a student worker at Learning Commons. So all those experience and then getting involved with the student organization. And all those experience will help you to prepare for your future co-ops and future work. So just take advantage of all the resources on campus and don't say no to any experience coming to you or opportunity.
Right. So I would say because my previous degree is more about nonprofit management, and a lot of nonprofits in the city are not able to pay their interns. At first, I was a bit hesitant to do that because I don't want to work for nothing. But because I was in that internship for 2 school years nonstop, and I built a very nice resume for myself. And people know that, wow, looking at my resume, this is a huge organization, arts organization in town, and they know through the network there and through my job there, they know what I can do. And even though I'm not earning any money, it's helpful for my career, and people would help you to proceed to a further career path.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up here. If you have any questions at all for us, you're welcome to write within the comment on Facebook. You're also welcome to go to uc.edu to look for more information about our academic programs and other opportunities. And I'm getting waved at here. What's that?
You can just ask the girls what they like most about working in Cincy or their life here.
What do you like most about Cincinnati, working in Cincinnati?
So I come from Shenzhen. It's an extremely big city in China. So I kind of like the way Cincinnati here is. It's not an extremely big city like New York City, but it also still has a big city feeling. So it has the small city feeling and the big city feeling together. And there's a lot of fun events going on. And then while I am still working or doing internship, I still have all the friends around me. So that makes me feel really comfortable. So that's something I really like about Cincinnati. And another thing I will say is just the people here, and then they're like really friendly. So that's like another big reason why I like Cincinnati a lot.
Yeah, I totally agree with Angel. It's exactly the same thing. I come from Hong Kong. It's a big crazy city, and I don't miss the like busy time there. So it's good to have this still city life, but like you can chill. But when you go downtown, you work is like with the same pace. So it's good to have this downtime. And again, yeah, people here are really nice. It's like it scares me at first because random people on the street will like smile to you, which is not something that I will experience in Hong Kong. So this is really nice.
I'm glad you love it. Thanks. We love it too.
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this was helpful for you. So thanks. Bye-bye.